welcome to Maximum Patch Notes. Let's rock it. Because, like you move on D.Va. And while it is so much fun and visually amazing, I'm not sure I like the direction they're taking the tanks and D.Va in especially, but more on that later. We are going to focus on D.Va today. We've made sure not to give anything a miss while testing missile. Well, that blew up in my face. Okay, no, but for real, let's dig into this, because there is a lot to dig into, mainly on the Mercy front. In fact, that's why this isn't going to cover both of them, because Mercy's changes are too goddamn sweeping, and there's too much to talk about for a maximum patch. Mercy is getting a new Mercy character maximum dedicated to her, because there's just a lot of fucking cool stuff going on there. So let's talk about D.Va today. Obviously, we need to get the little specs on these missiles, see what damage they do, see what range they have, how many she fires. Well, what's even the point? Alright, what am I even here for? If they're gonna, like, seriously, Overwatch devs, it just makes me feel redundant, you know? It's like you don't trust me to do it, so you just... What's the point of this video anymore? Nope, you know what? I refuse, okay? I refuse. I swear it on me maximum. Because tell me this truly do. How could you play the missiles without knowing that they travel at 45 meters per second, taking a third of a second to go white line to white line? But on a more practical level, something very cool, and I imagine not intended, is that D.Va's missiles obey the fire strike principle. Ergo, as long as the tiny dot in the center of your screen that's on the default crosshair is on your target, the missiles will get there. They will phase through buildings and objects. However, if the missiles hit a person on the way, then they will explode. So it's very much a curious behave. Yo, I'm here to talk about my behavior to save you, because I got the... And look, alright, ever since you guys said my rapping wasn't too bad last time, I've been very into this. Okay. We also have the fact if we can sidestep the missiles for now, which you can, because it's not that quick how fast they travel. Hey, her defense matrix is only lasting 2 seconds, which is nicely the amount of time to eat a full volley of missiles as it happens, but it does make her feel a lot less tanky and is ridiculously noticeable. I mean, she's gained quality of life by being able to fire both her guns and her missiles while using the booster, which is really, really lovely. She feels a lot more aggressive. But the big deal and the major thing going on here is that firing the missiles while firing your guns gives D.Va some serious burst damage potential. So the missiles themselves do 132 DPS, 216 total damage after all of them have fired. So you could do 800, just shy, DPS to an entire team if they're clustered, but it really does need to be clustered. There's no knockback, and effectively, mechanically, anything that works and can be done, etc. to a Pharah missile like Genji Deflect can happen to this missile. They're very comparable. The actual area each one affects is effectively identical to the tiny white circle in the middle of the Nepal sanctum point. So it's a nice little one for you. A missile gets fired every 0.09 seconds. So this means at close range, she has a combined DPS of 460 guns plus missiles, which means she drops a hog in a little over a second. So yeah, she's kind of becoming a very offensive flanker, air quotes, tank once more, which I kinda like, because aggressive D.Va's a lot of fun. It's how I used to play her, but it definitely moves her away from the strictly tank role. Apart from all this, since I got most of my job today made redundant, there's nothing too crazy about them, except for obviously how beautiful they are. Enjoy this. It's coarse and it's rough and it just gets everywhere. Like the prequels, I imagine that was totally unwanted. Here's the real thing. There goes the budget, so I hope you enjoyed what there was. And there's not much else to say about the D.Va changes, because unfortunately the Blizzard specs are, unfortunately, accurate. So, yeah. For now though, and just to cap this off, I do want to talk about the change, well, as a change, because it's an interesting one, and it very much, to me, follows the Roadhog principle, i.e., she's been changed because she wasn't fun to play against, because people complained. And now, in D.Va's case, it was more egregious, because not only did it suck to get your big important move that you spent 3 minutes building just, boop, gone, eaten, haha, bye. It also was really powerful in winning games, whereas Roadhog just sucked, but he wasn't really powerful in winning games. So with D.Va, it at least is a little bit more logical that this change has happened. I really don't disagree with altering defense matrix. I do think there is an element of people weren't playing around it and then just fired off whatever it was whenever they felt like, and then were surprised when the enemy D.Va ate it. But even in high-level games, D.Vas are just completely preventing and shutting down some heroes, and it kind of sucks. She stifles diversity, she really does, so she did need a tweak. The thing is, though, she is a tank. So pray tell, why wasn't the obvious change? Maybe the less fun, and that could be the reason, but why wasn't the obvious change reduce her defense matrix to the 2 seconds, even though this does feel hilariously short, but at least now you have to properly time it, you can't just keep it up all the time, though there is some pills for that. Wouldn't it make sense with her being, you know, a tank, to make the defense matrix nerf, but then also, let's just say, remove her crit spot? Because that's always the issue with D.Va. She effectively just takes double damage, because you have to be a blind, frail old monkey with 3 fingers tied behind his back to not hit her huge fucking massive crit box in the massive center of her mech, where you're going to be aiming by default anyway. It makes her really squishy, and the armor nary helps. So if we want her to be less, you know, anti-fun, air quotes, but still retain tank status, why not make that change? So the reason that they went, nah, let's just give her missiles, which I can't deny is cool, and it makes sense, you know, it was kind of silly to think that this battle mech only has access to one form of weaponry, so lore-wise, I'm all on board this one. But why do this? Yes, it adds fun, and this I think is a key point. When Roadhog got nerfed, the biggest issue was that everyone who was a Roadhog player is now like, well, great, this sucks. Like, I've lost inspiration to play. Like, this is awful. Whereas now, if you were enjoying eating ults with a defense matrix, you at least have air quotes compensation of, but I get to fire missiles now. Oh yes. And well, obviously not everyone's going to have that reaction. It at least feels like a trade, you know. You're not just being nerfed, you're getting something back. And this is, make no mistake, definitely a nerf. The missiles are nice, and it does let D.Va be a more aggressive flankery tank, like she always could be and how she used to be before people really realized the power of the defense matrix. But it means that you're gonna start seeing just solo, ignoring my team, one-trick D.Vas trying to blow people up, which might be a bad thing in and of itself. At least before, with defense matrix being so good, you had to be near the action and using it in a, even if it's just collateral way, helpful manner to your team. So I'm not sure I like how this is going to inspire people to play D.Va, but again, we'll see what the top level of players do with it. But yeah, it definitely feels like more of a trade-off to placate the D.Va players, but also make everyone else happy that they're going to get less defense matrix. I do think you also could have solved this by just making defense matrix more obvious, having some indication when it was getting low, so it wasn't just a guessing game, and then you could time and actually work around it, but I suppose the time for that has passed. My main issue, and the point that I want to leave you with, is, do you guys think that this could be a sign that Overwatch's future is destined to eventually homogenize every character such that they're all effectively DPS with a twist? Because to me, it seems like everybody likes being an assault because they like being the ones doing damage. You know, it's very much seen as taking one for the team, you know, a negative connotation when you pick tank or healer because we need one, so someone's gotta do it. You know, that attitude, someone's gotta bear this burden. And obviously, don't get me wrong, some people love being tanks and supports. I do, honestly, but that's mainly because I know I can impact the game and, you know, we need that role. I don't know how much I like being tanks and supports because of the actual tanks and supports themselves, but that's a conversation for another time. So what I feel like they're trying to do is let every character actually get a decent amount of kills, damage out. Then people are going to feel a lot better about playing any given role because they still get to do the fun thing in the shooter, which is kill the other guy, which isn't unreasonable to want. It is a kill the other guy game at the end of the day. Hell, even the Mercy changes, which we'll get onto in Mercy's new maximum, but her ulti really makes you think, well, I'm gonna go battle Mercy for 20 seconds, I've got infinite ammo, fuck, healing my team while that changel's on, yeah, but at the same time, is that good? Do you want your Mercy aft for 20 seconds, infinite shooting pistols where she flies over the enemy lines and gets sniped? I'm not sure. I'm concerned that they think the solution to make everything more fun is make everyone just generally be able to get a lot of kills instead of actually having a more stricter role division. Because make no mistake, D.Va's tank status is basically non-existent anymore. She's really squishy because of her crit box. Her defense matrix is laughable for defense now. And the thing is, it can still be used smartly by a D.Va, toggle on and off to eat the ults if you're paying attention. So, I don't know. I'm just a little bit concerned about what this projects, and I would love your thoughts on that. But for now, I'll leave you with a little bit of a behind-the-scenes fun, and yeah, I'll see you very soon. My name has been Rage. Like if you've enjoyed this, goodbye.